folks. We get the S&Ps holding on to most of those gains, up by 31 points. Markets in the green. We get the dollar right at 97 right now. And right now, folks, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour, we're going to talk to our man Teddy Kekstadt. You can check out Teddy's outstanding weekly report, folks, the Tiger Forex Report. You get a new issue every Monday. Updates throughout the week when warranted. You gain access to an archive webinar Teddy's got in there as well. You can sign up, folks. It's $97 a month. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And Teddy's also got a couple great webinars under the Services tab. Capitalizing on Time with calendar stock option spreads, as well as Japanese candlestick pattern stock and option strategies. Teddy's written a book on candlestick patterns, folks. 2 great webinars. Check those out as well. Teddy Kekstadt, happy Jobs Wednesday, man. Good morning.
Yeah, we got some crazy action going on between the U.S. dollar yen, the euro, and the pound. Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, you do such a great job that, I always focus, even myself, right? I look at the dollar, the media reports the dollar, you break down those individual pairs so much, man. We got some action with yields today, but maybe if you could tell me what you, on a day like today, because I was jumping through them, getting ready to talk to you this morning as well, and just the action. We got action across the board on these pairs, and how do you look at a morning like this, Teddy? What do you focus on when you look at the action that we have right now? And boy, we got some action.
Sure. Well, you know what? I think right now you have to look at it like, we had a good trade overnight, and then obviously this is a news reactionary thing. So right now the U.S. stock market just opened, not even 15 minutes ago. So I think you have to let it digest for the next half an hour to an hour. Let's see what kind of if we start to see a trend with the stock market, then I think you might start to see a trend with the dollar. I would key off of the high and the low today in the euro and also the pound versus the dollar today. Especially, I think if you get a breakout either way, for instance, if you get a breakout to the downside, the bears are going to break out extend the lows, I think, pretty well. To the upside as well, I think if you get a rally and the bulls can get if they can breach that, current daily high today, I think you might have an explosive little trade there. I think you're going to have a lot of stops. You know what I'm saying? At both those levels right now. Right now, we're it's an outside day and we're in the middle of the range for the most part. The U.S. dollar yen, that's another case where I think the bears have the edge no matter what. I think you got a good shot at seeing newer lows today than you do newer highs.
Yeah, and that yen, quite a move even. We talked last week, of course, and boy, from where we were Sunday night at 157, you were at 152 pre-market. Right. For those following the yen in particular, and, I appreciate the take even on today, but longer term, what do you think about, we just came back and tested where we were almost in January, as I mentioned, Sunday night at 157, and I know you include this one in the Tiger Forex Report, but what are some numbers you're looking at maybe as we go forward on that yen?
I'm definitely bearish on it. In the past 3 days, I know it's been very, very steep as far as a market reaction. So the question is, did we put a top in a month and a half ago, or are we getting ready to follow that bull trend? I don't think the bull trend is here. Even if let's just say, the expectations now a rate cut's not coming until after June. I still think the new Fed chairman's going to pop it. This is the first meeting he has. Regardless of whether that happens, that's still 4 or 5 months away, as far as I'm looking at, so it doesn't matter in the short run. So with that being said, I think that you're going to probably see neutral strength in the dollar and especially weakness versus the yen. I think right now you got the yen trading at 153.67, pretty much around there right now. Trading at 153 is a good area. Remember, 150 even is the benchmark that the BOJ wants. I've been saying that I think no matter what, before this quarter is out, we're going to be trading around the 150 area, even touch down to maybe 147.5 for a bounce and find a little low there, and start to chop around there for a month or so. And right now we're on target for that. I'm going to go with the trend. I'm going to look at the high that we set in on Monday. That was a very big rejection. That was we made a higher move high with a very big outside selling day. It was a bearish engulfing line sell signal. In the short run, if this move is done, then the low of today should be the low. If it's going to be bullish, I would say we're not going to take out the low. If we take out the low of today, I would be, if you're going to try and, I think you're trying to catch a falling knife. I see us getting down below 152 then if we take out the low of today.
And that's kind of nice. I'm speaking myself personally. When you have trades, at least, and we're all going to be wrong sometimes, but at least you know, right? That's you got your back against the wall, man. You got a plan. This is what it looks right now. And yeah, you break those levels, then we got a different scenario. But it's quite a bounce we got going on. I hear you. Mm-hmm. Hey, what about crude? Crude right now, reacting a bit, but we were sitting at. Yeah, look at this bid we're getting now. My goodness, even as I talked to you, Teddy, I was getting ready for you this morning, and we were trading at 64 and change. We're at almost $66, 65, 70, 71 right now. What do you think of crude?
Yeah, I still think it's a rally to sell. I think it's going to be a liquidity trap. I just don't see it being sustainable at this level. So I mean, I just really don't. I mean, if there was a fundamental that came into play, that was really, really bullish, I would change my mind. But right now, I just don't see, with everything that's coming online, for that to be sustainable. I think I'd be very cautious. I think a spike high is definitely imminent if it even gets much higher than it is right now.
And this area, I was looking at this earlier, technically, it's amazing how this area was an area of support. You broke through that area, and we had lows back there, and geez, it's like many years. 2023, 2024, your low was 65.27. We're at 65.69. So we'll see if that area turns into a little resistance.
Well, 75 is the magic number, isn't it?
As well.
Right, Tommy?
Hey, what do you think about the metals market? I got to ask you, of course. We got dollar jumping around, metals, volatility calming a bit. And, I know you've preached caution. I agree with a lot of what you're talking about, on this bounce right now. We got a little bounce going on, 5,073 in gold. But what do you think about these price levels still where we're at on some of these metals, Teddy?
I still think it's very, very toppy right now. I really do. So, and especially with the way the volume is and things like that, I think that my really big take on why the metals are where they're at is I think you had the rotation out of Bitcoin. I think all the money that was dumped out of Bitcoin was going into the metals last year, to be quite honest with you. I think it was a rotation. So, and eventually I think you're going to start to see people trying to take some profits out of it. I can't see it being, I know everyone sees gold going to like 6,000, 7,000 or whatever, but it's beyond irrational for where gold value should be at. It just seems like it seems like such a bubble to me, and it still seems so derivative driven. If you get my meaning as far as why it is where it's pricing at. Hey,
those charts, I appreciate preaching caution, because you look at some of those charts and pretty parabolic at certain times, especially silver, but even gold, man. And it's been quite a run. We're still sitting at 5,000. You mentioned Bitcoin. What do you think about crypto, man? Any comments on crypto? I mean, talk about risk reward. Everybody, I think, knows the risks at this point. But what do you think? What do you think about investors looking to dabble on quite a pullback in crypto?
Well, I think especially because you have so many people trying to say that the central banks and the banks should start buying cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin to help lift the market. That alone is a sell signal right there. First of all,
I was like, please don't say that's why we should buy it. That's what I was thinking, right? I was saying, man, I heard a joke yesterday or a couple last week saying central bankers aren't going to buy something that Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy controls the flow for. And it's kind of the same thing. Beware. Teddy, great information as always. Folks, check out the Tiger Forex Report. And Teddy, appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much as always.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks so much. We'll come right back, folks. Great info from Teddy. Check